What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family. And of course, hop in the Discord link for that's in the description box down below.
Yeah, guys, it is unfortunately Super Bowl 59. And I say that only because, seeing the Chiefs 3 years in a row, right? 4 out of 5 years. And we've seen the Eagles, what was it, 3 out of 8 years?
Yeah.
And now, of course, the fact that both these teams are playing, it is a boring ass Super Bowl. Calm here by your boy MCF and your girl MCW. But we're not going to be live for the game. We're going to be live for a pre-game here, which we're going to do right now, about an hour or so show. Take you up to the Super Bowl. And we can BS a little bit about the Super Bowl. We're talking about our Dallas Cowboys. You see that star on this picture right here? It's still over everything. No matter what.
That's right.
Even on a Super Bowl pre-game show. So, anyways, as we get rolling here, let's start off with listen, guys, we're doing like a monthly thing now, not a weekly thing when it comes to the leaderboards and all that stuff. So, this stream's going to end it for the last 4 weeks, and we're going to crown some champions, even though we've only been live like 3 times. This is our 3rd time. So, you got to get in when you can in this channel when it comes to the champions of the end of the month, so to speak, now, right? So, Super Bowl pregame 59, Chiefs. Basically, it's Chiefs at the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? The Eagles are the home team. So we'll see what happens. You know, we're saying fuck Philly. That's what I don't care if it's under 15 minutes. Fuck Philly, which means we have to hope the Chiefs win here as Cowboy fans. Anyways, as we continue, let's talk about this channel and keep it rolling. And who's representing the boards? And you guys know the one and only, the man, John Luna.
Shout out to Mr. Luna. He's representing on several fronts as the sponsor of the week, the stream boss, the gifting membership.
Yeah, guys, he's done the gifting membership champion, the sponsor of the week for 6 straight sessions, we'll call them. It's like 2 months of domination by the man, John Luna. And he's got 56 points on the stream boss. He's still hanging on to that stream boss. While Skeptical Fan is the Cash App King.
That's right.
And also, currently, just like $2.51. He's the leader on that side. There is no leader right now for this month on the gifting membership side. So anyone can get that one. Tonight will be at the end of the stream, we're going to try to close it out and name some champions there. And of course, on the overall board, I got to say, there is Ozzy who came in there and jumped into first place. But then today, pre-stream, John Luna jumps back into first place with a pre-stream $50 holla, kicking it off. And then the pre-stream hitting on all cylinders, so to speak, hit on all of the, we call it the goal, right? Yes. Hitting the goal. So he hit all the goals, gave out the free, I guess, raffle entries for those.
Yep.
And we have another goal you can still hit, guy. That was just a pre-stream goal. This is the in-stream goal of 20. If you get $25, I guess teal or higher, it can be higher than that. If you get $5 or higher through the super chats, if we get 20 of them in this hour and a half stream, everybody that was in there I put towards it will be involved in a raffle that will get you into a bigger raffle for our monthly, for our jersey raffles whenever we get to do those. It would be probably every month and a half, 2 months now because it's the off season. So shout outs to everybody, especially the man John Luna who made this thing work. And I just want to make sure we get back to kind of explaining, the goal situation, which is still an open possibility there. So anyways, I
want to take a second as well because Mr. Luna did drop that in honor of his friend Charles Rylander.
And that's one thing. We went live last time. We made we went through this whole thing about donating to his buddy's fund,
Little League,
not fund, but his Little League that he was working with. So again, it's all information is in the description, but extra shout outs to John Luna. And today is going to be for Charlie. So what did he have to say, baby?
No, he said just that. This is not for reaching the first bullseye goal. I know he wouldn't mind if all of today's donations are from Charles Rylander.
So even though
his best friend who unfortunately passed away very suddenly.
Yeah. So I want to put his full name to Charles.
Charles.
Yeah. So I will actually
Charles R. If you. No, you're good. If you want to not put like his whole full name there, but Charles Rylander.
Highlander. I'm
There you
sorry.
go.
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay. So
So,
I'm
and
I'm
all
I'm,
good, John Luna. Thank you so much for that.
I'm
And
putting
we'll
him
see
in
you
there.
soon.
Yeah, I'm putting him in there as on the leaderboard there. So we see Charles Rylander there with John Luna in parentheses. We know who's representing it there. So big shout outs to Charles and John for that. Now, we get rolling here. I think we covered this side of things. There's, of course, different ways of dropping the love here. We can super chat. You can jump in the membership.
Yeah,
Which,
you've seen that live and in
yeah,
action there.
yeah, you got the thanks button, and of course, gifting memberships. But I do want to shout out some of the membership people here because, like Aussie, back in that star level membership,
That's right.
had taken that lead before we went live tonight here, before this stream was put up. And then we also have Alanda Manzulu.
Ooh, Alonda, I know she's married to a Cowboy
Yeah.
fan.
Tony Wimbish in the house. Much love to you. Um, a couple other people that also got back in, or re in the membership. Darren Posey, Gerald Swain. We got A. Lavelle on that silver level crew. Much love to you. We also had who else do we have? John Syme. Big shout outs to him. So a lot of great people here getting back in the memberships as we're heading into the off season here. Andy and Boogie, Justin Quarles. I think we shouted you guys out last time. Thank you all for being in that side of things. And like I said, guys, super chats, thanks button, jumping into memberships or gifting memberships. It's right now. No one's on the board for this month. What are the other four ways, which we call the after dark ways here, which we after dark 2. Subscribe to those if you want the extra late night into the morning non-football talk here. That's MCF special kind of underground channel. But baby, what are the four ways people can help out the after dark style way for the crown of that Cash App, like you see there, skeptical fan representing?
Well, you have, of course, the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family. You have the regular PayPal link, and the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen like a regular super chat would.
Yeah, so make sure you guys. You guys to drop the love. You got an hour or so to do that. Now, I also want to shout out, just real quick, starring over everything, level memberships and weekly winners, bonus entries, monthly jersey raffles, all that good stuff. Of course, it'll be taken. It's going to have to be done at a more measured pace because it is the off season. But I do want to, shout out everybody who is in the memberships from top to bottom, and especially those at the top of the membership levels. There's 4 different levels. There's navy blue, silver level, starring over everything. And when we always shout out to starring over everything's, and that is, of course, the great John Luna and Aussie in there.
Thank you.
So big extra shout outs to you guys in that star level membership. And again, I know we haven't done it in a while, so we're gonna do our Fan Friday silver level shout outs as well. Maybe you want to do this one, babe.
Of
What do you
course.
think?
Thank you very much to our silver members like Calvin Richards, Justin Quarles, the Q Man, Top Dog Bay Bullies, Mr. Dwayne Broussard,
Yeah.
and A. Lavelle, the longest running MCF member here.
55 months in that silver level domination. Big shots and big thank you to everybody in the membership. Thank you. Star level, silver level, over everything level, and of course the navy blue crew. So baby, who's in the house so we can get rolling with some cowboy news, info, and updates before we get into the Super Bowl? And yes, we're gonna pop the camera on. You can see that we're still live and in full effect.
Yes. So shout out to you, Sean Hopkins. What's up? You got Meatball Ron in the house. I
Meatball
wish
Ron.
that wasn't the matchup. Just
He's
saying.
an Eagle fan, unfortunately.
Red
So.
Man R, much love, saying, we do realize if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, good news, bad news. Bad news, they tie the Cowboys, but good news, they tie the Niners. They might join the 5-timer club.
Yeah, the thing is, I'd rather the Chiefs join the 5-time club because at this point we're with a stack of teams. It used to be just like us and the Steelers and the Niners. Now it's like 8 teams in there. So you know what? I don't care. Let them join the stack of 5. They didn't pass us yet, and they're gonna get 3 in a row. No one's ever done that yet. But you know what? We don't want ever to see the Eagles get 2
I agree.
in their history. They got 1 already. That's 1 too many. We don't want them getting 2. And they had a chance a couple years ago against the same Chiefs team, and they almost won. Hopefully this time the Chiefs handle business. We'll see. Both teams are more seasoned now that they meet again, and definitely some revenge. But hey, listen, we'll talk about the Super Bowl as well. But today it's still about the Cowboys,
Always.
no matter what.
So Super
Who else
Queen
in
and
here?
King, what's up? Hello and hi. Of course, Mr. John Luna said I'm going to be out of
Yeah.
pocket for probably the next hour.
Oh.
I'll get on as soon as I'm home. So we have Daniel Bayer Sports Highlights. What's up? To our baddies, shout out to you, of course. Let me see who else we got in here. Brandon J. Chiefs is all in.
Hey,
And again,
Chiefs to
since
win.
somebody technically has to win the game,
Hmm.
I guess we want the Eagles to lose. How about that? So, skeptical fan, much love to you, saying here we choke on the sidelines. Oh, Justin Quarles, the Q man, saying let's fucking go Chiefs with some little poop there next to the eagle
Little poop
emoji.
emoji, yeah.
So come back down. As more people come on in, I'll make sure to continue to shout them out here.
Yeah. So let me just get into it real quick. I'm gonna say a couple things before I put the camera on and just kind of get through some of the news here real quick. First and foremost, guys, welcome in. Welcome back. I know it's been a little bit of
Stick
time.
Aguilar 04, much love to you,
Stick
saying
in the
fuck
house.
Philly, Eagles,
Welcome.
and the Kansas City Queefs. Hell, yeah, thank you, NDM Boogie, by the way, with a $2 holler. His Super Bowl predictions with a KC will win. Again,
I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for it.
I also am hoping for it, but I also do think that they will win. Somehow, it's not even that I think they're even the better team heading into this matchup.
They
It's
just
the
know how
fact
to
that
win.
every single game we've seen the Chiefs somehow win. They know how to win. They know how to push past some of those insurmountable hurdles. So
Yeah.
I did see a few jokes that some Dick's Sporting Goods had referee jerseys under the Kansas City Chiefs section. So,
I'll
maybe
take
it
it.
has something to do with
I'll take
it.
it today. I'm sorry. Go freaking refs and help those Chiefs win. That's all I'm gonna
Right.
say.
House Nelson, much love, saying what's up, MCF, MCW, go Chiefs.
Hey.
So yeah, so pretty much everyone's just like anything but the Eagles. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and it
beat
hurt.
the
It's still.
Eagles, said Andy and Boogie.
I don't like it. I don't like that we had to kind of go for the freaking Chiefs. But you never see me gonna say, "Yay, the Eagles won"
Just
ever in
like
my
I said,
life.
cry, Sheagles, cry.
Cry, Eagles, cry. We'll be playing and showing a couple of things that we hope to see at the end of the night from the Eagles. But again, we're not gonna do the stream tonight. Like we're not gonna do the Super Bowl live stream. I mean, there's really nothing to cheer for. We're gonna be in and out. We're not gonna be extra focused on it because it's the stupid ass Eagles. But of course, we're gonna want to see the Eagles lose. I don't know. It's me.
Exactly.
So, anyways, I got the updated. The board is now updated. Indian Boogie now all by himself in seventh place. And big shouts to him as that drop right there goes through. John Luna goes to 54 points on the stream ball. It's good to see that all systems are working here on MCF for home front.
That's
Now,
right.
really quickly, guys, before we hop on the camera and get more into the interaction of things, I want to go through a couple of the news stories that are out there. Cowboys legend Darren Woodson, safety, continue to wait. Oh, now entering the 18th year of waiting to get inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He was a finalist again, and once again he was not
Missed
picked.
out.
Yep. So he came up short as a finalist on Thursday night. He said, "quote I wish I could walk in and grab that gold jacket. It's painful. It really is." And again, this reminds me of more of a kind of a Drew Pearson feeling, right? All these years of getting
Right.
overlooked, and he's like, I'm just exasperated. It sounds like Darren Woodson's almost getting to that point. Big shout out
It
to
feels extremely disrespectful.
Red Men are in the house.
No disrespect there. Thank you, Red Man R, with the $1.59 holler. I know that's a Go Cowboys.
Yeah, better be. It better be. Big shout out to Mr. Red Man R. Thank you. And John Luna drops to 52 on that board. So that's just the little side note there. Listen, guys, there's also a lot of stuff that went on. I'm not going to go into it. We can talk about it when we're kind of done with the actual factual news. But I don't want to go into the whole, oh, Deion Sanders was so close to signing, and oh, we're gonna go get this player and trade for this guy, and Myles Garrett wants to come to Dallas. So I mean, we're gonna go fuck the step speculation. I ain't doing that. We ain't doing that this year. There's other places that do that. We're gonna just talk facts, and then of course our opinions. But we're not gonna talk about speculation. Cowboys will never make a move for a big name player. You guys can talk about it. You guys,
yeah, I know Sean was saying like, "Oh, I'd love to see Aaron Jones come
yeah,
here."
guys, this is not happening. I don't know how to say this. We've seen it for 8 years on stream, but I've lived it for 40 years. As far as Jerry Jones, 35 years of this, and we know what's going to happen. Everyone who follows this team even for a second knows what's coming, and it's going to be very minor moves, no trades or a low level trade, minor free agent moves, maybe one name that's like mid range, mid. And then the draft. And then let's wait and see what happens. Yeah. That's it. It's basically what we call this is
Training camp.
this is called the clown show process, and it's the same thing every year, guys. We're not going to get Aaron Jones who's released today. We're not going to get Myles Garrett who wants to be traded. We're not going to get Stephon Diggs from the Texans to match up with Trayvon Diggs. No, we're not going to trade away. We're not going to trade away DeMarcus Lawrence and Trayvon Diggs after this injury to Diggs and the end of DeMarcus Lawrence's career. People are saying we're going to trade those two guys and our draft pick for what's his name
Aaron Jones.
from Cleveland.
Oh,
No,
Myles
from
Garrett.
Myles Garrett. You guys, none of these things are happening. That's if you believe it, you're getting tricked by the people that are telling you that. You're getting pulled into it. You're getting pulled into the cowboy insanity, which is not fun. And you're giving the Joneses exactly what they want. So here, we're gonna give them what they don't want, the truth. So fuck, fuck the fucking front office of the Cowboys, and do not buy anything of the Dallas Cowboys and give money to Jerry Jones if you can help it. That means clothing, hats, apparel, fucking game tickets, home games, away games. Hey, guys, watch it on TV. Support your team. You got gear. You got gear like us. You wear you wear your gear for years. But fuck Jerry, fuck Steven, and fuck this front office. Only care about two things: making money and looking good. Being in the media. That's all they give a fuck. Not even looking good. They just want to be in the media. They don't care if they look bad. They just want media attention,
Yep,
and
they just want looks.
they want clicks, flash views, and money over winning. Fuck them. That's not a Cowboys thing to me. That's a Jerry Jones team. That's not the Cowboys. Cowboys is a star over them. The Cowboys is a star over everything, and that's what we're fans of. So rep your gear for years. If you gained weight or lost weight, well, squeeze into it or be flooded in it. Either way, when you see changes on this team that really are meaningful, go back to buying your gear. You go back to going to the games. I ain't. We are not, and that's fuck you, Jerry Jones. So pretty simple. Now, was that enough? Maybe.
I think that's a good start.
Any two words we want to put in before we put the cameras on? And we put the cameras on before we put the. I guess we can wait with the cameras a little because I want to make sure I kind of get focused on not us on camera, but focused on the news and information. But any quick thoughts on this situation with just the Jerry Jones, the way he's handling this team, another off season. I'm not digging into any of the rumors or bullshit.
Just the fact that
You have to say,
it's been such a lackadaisical process since then.
Mm.
Like McCarthy moves on. We obviously have no head coach. Like, we've seen what's happened the last 2-3 weeks, but it is like they're just taking their sweet time. Like they don't have any pressure to rebuild this team,
yeah,
with any kind of sense of urgency.
yeah. I mean, again, you said they took so long to get the head coach, which we know already is Brian Schottenheimer.
Okay.
But the
I
thing
know.
is, yeah, no, I'm
But
saying
even then, like the rest of the staff and everything, like we only just decided like one of our other coaches like a day or two ago. So
yeah, I mean, the way this one works, it's always going to take a couple of weeks to get the whole staff together. And it's, again, guys, that's why we didn't bother going live for every single fucking staff move because it's a waste of fucking time. It's just, do you guys even know who half these guys are going to be? We're going to talk about them. Well, I'm going to talk about them now for you guys. Let's get it done. First and foremost, as you know, and this was before our last stream, Mike McCarthy was not he wasn't fired. He wasn't given a contract. So he was basically bye bye. And a lot of people are talking about where he may be going or not going. Well, I got a couple thoughts about that. But first, we got a guy who's kicking off today's goal attempt for the actual live stream, and the first out of 20 has been hit by the man John Luna. What did the man say with that 5 on it?
Ooh, he said this one down for Red Man R.
Red Man R on the board. If we hit all 20, you guys want to help out here probably if you can. But I think NDM Boogie and Red Man R, they did miss. They missed the goal, but John Luna hit it bullseye. So shout out to Mr. John Luna.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yes, and can't do this without your guys' love and support on the nightly, or I say weekly now, maybe a couple times a month. I don't know, but appreciate you all, and big shout out to John Luna, who's back up to 57 points in the Stream Boss, first place, and even though we have no gifted leader, he's the gifting champion, and also, and I say John Luna, we had Charles Ryland as well, right? So
Yes.
that's who we're going to be shouting out today. If he's the winner, that's the name we're going to put as the winner.
Charles.
Charles. So. Anyways, yes, we got real shit down from John Luna there, and big thank you to the man John Luna there. So now let me get back. I got Charles Rylander there. You can see he's in first place. AKA there, brought to you by John Luna. Now, back to the football thing here. Mike McCarthy was fired. Mike McCarthy was, not I don't say fired. He was not re-signed, so he was a free agent coach. Went to the Bears, got checked out. They went a different way. Went to the Saints. The expectation was he was going to work with the Saints. And then just a couple of days ago, former Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy has announced and decided to focus on the 2026 hiring cycle.
Hmm.
Not that he's not going to be a coach or
Sounds
be involved in
familiar.
coaching in 2025. So yeah, he did this in Green Bay, took a year off, and I'm going to put this in air quotes. Watched all the games of the Cowboys, which is a lie. We knew that. Um, and then the next year came back after a whole year out, came back into coaching with a quote unquote new plan. And hey, gave us a couple good years in the regular season, but same old shit in the playoffs and not readying this team for the A team, his team for the
Yeah.
playoffs properly. So, anyways, the point is that he is out on this year's coaching cycle. He will not be hired. Um, and will not be coaching this NFL 2025 season upcoming. McCarthy made the playoffs 12 times in 18 seasons of coaching. Is the expectation he's going to be a very strong candidate a year from now. So keep that in mind. Now,
I wonder what team it is that he kind of had his eye on
well,
that he thinks might be more
well,
amenable next year.
well, I don't know. Right now, we know the Bears. He was looked at. He was looked at by the Saints. He came off the Saints. I'm sorry, not him, but another person that came off a second interview with the Saints was Kellen Moore.
Hmm.
The guy we looked at as well. Of course, the guy we had here went to the Chargers, went to the Eagles. Now he's in the Super Bowl. But he's the Eagles' offensive coordinator. He remains the most likely to coach the New Orleans Saints at this point. But nothing yet is
Enough.
clear or finalized at this point, obviously. But it used to be McCarthy was the guy going to the Saints. Now it's Kellen Moore. So we'll see what happens. McCarthy did prove, you know, basically I'm gonna put McCarthy one last time. We'll probably see him on here. McCarthy, the reason he did not get re-signed by the Cowboys is because he did not bow down to Jerry Jones's demands. That's what it comes down to. And he bowed down the first 5 years. He said, "I'm not doing that again. It's because it makes me look bad." And I'm sure, even though some stuff is on McCarthy, I'm sure some stuff is, as we discussed in these 5 years, a lot of stuff is on the Joneses, keeping their dirty little fingers involved in
It
everything.
sounds like he doesn't want to be here 5 years.
You don't want to be here at 1 year if you cannot do it his way and get a better chance to maybe bounce off into a better opportunity to another team. Kind of doing that 1 year deal. If you ain't doing it his way, he's out, and that's what he decided to there. So again, he was content with himself and his position right now going into this offseason. He's going to actually do, try to go for a coaching job of some sort in 2026. So McCarthy, bye Carthy. He's bye-bye. Now, let me do shout out some of the, Brian Schottenheimer, our head coach. He was our offensive coordinator last year, really just the guy who kind of got the plays together. He wasn't really a coordinator. It was really McCarthy. So we're going to see still if he's going to take over the offensive play calling or is he going to hand it off to an offensive coordinator. We'll discuss that in a minute. But let me go through the staff tracker for Brian Schottenheimer. He's hired. He's the head coach. He says he's going to get right onto it. And we heard about a couple of Andre Collins, I think and Matt Eberflus, who were the two now like the two favorites for the defensive coordinator position for the Cowboys in 2025.
Okay.
And then it was like, oh, it's just kind of like one of those guys. Andre was basically just there for the Rooney Rule. The next day, which of course we didn't talk about it till now, but it's official. The Cowboys did hire uh, Matt Eberflus as the Cowboys defensive coordinator.
Yeah. So no real surprises.
No surprise. And I've talked about this. Eberflus loves he does not disguise his defense. That's a negative in my opinion. He does not blitz too much, which could be a negative.
Mm-hmm.
He does have fantastic linebackers. He used to be a linebackers coach with the Cowboys for a bunch of years under Marinelli. So we know the linebacking core is going to be strong. We know that he's going to try to use the base 4 pass rush. This could be a 3-4-4-3, but we're going to use 4 rushers most of the time under Eberflus. So, and not much disguising, a lot of cover 2, a lot of cover 3, I think. Cover 2 and 3, is that it? So either way, it's going to be simplified in that way, but it's going to be hard hitting, solid tackling, and good linebacker play. let's see what happens. That's why I mean.
I mean,
I'm not really going crazy about it,
I'll
but
be the person to say that if he can get our defense to focus again on the fundamentals as far as like tackling and stuff like that, if that ends up being a bigger focus for him than maybe other coaches, we could at least see an improvement in that.
yeah, that's the hope.
That's the most I'm willing to give him without knowing or seeing more.
Now, under Schottenheimer, he's gonna, he has been a highly touted defensive mind for years, who once coordinated the Cowboys linebackers. He coordinated the Cowboy defensive passing game. He, of course, one of the best linebacking coaches we've had. And then he went to the Colts to be their defensive coordinator after the Cowboys had denied him to go to the Niners back when he was a linebackers coach with us or defensive passing game coordinator. The Cowboys denied him to go to the Niners. He was pissed. He's like, as soon as my contract's up, I'm out. And he went to the Colts, defensive coordinator there for a couple of years. Then went to the Bears as the head coach, fired as the head coach, and now he's the Cowboys defensive coordinator, going kind of like a Dan Quinn situation in a little bit of a way, except minus the Super Bowl. John Luna with the number 2 out of 20 right now, hit on the goal. Big shout outs to the man with another $5 holler. He goes up to 62 points. What did the man, John Luna, a.k.a. Charlie Ryland, have to say?
This is for Azteca Aguila.
Oh, Azteca in the house.
Thank you so much, Mr. Luna. Appreciate you. Much love.
Yeah, so.
And we'll make sure to, mark down that Azteca Aguilar.
Azteca on the board there. Big shout outs to John Luna once again doing it. And moving up on the board, solidifying that first place spot. I mean, right now things stay the way they are. He's going to take down that top spot, but there's nobody in the gifting membership side. And Skeptical Fan will eke out a $2.51 Cash App King right there. So we'll see what happens. A long way to go, but big shout outs to John Luna and everybody else ripping the board today. Now, I do want to kind of continue here by saying that when it comes to the defensive coordinator spot, this was a thing that Schottenheimer wanted to kind of bring him back. The Cowboys know Eberflus. So his signing of Eberflus signifies the beginning of what should be truly what we knew was going to be kind of a swift filling of roles on the defensive position coaching side of things.
Yeah.
And the coaching staff itself. So then the Cowboys went right from again, I'm going to leave him up there, Schottenheimer, but we went from head coach, defensive coordinator, and the next guy hired was our special teams coordinator. And his name is Nick Sorensen. He's a special teams coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys as of now. He spent last year as the Niners defensive coordinator. I mean, they didn't have the greatest defense last year, but they had a shitload of injuries.
Still a weird
move. Defensive coordinator, now moving over to special teams. But let me give you a little history because before that, he has special teams experience back in most recently in 2021 with the Jacksonville Jaguars, where, by the way, they're one of the best special teams out there when it came to returning the ball. So with Turpin and now Sorensen, this defensive coach that went to special teams, he's our special teams coordinator. Maybe it'll help some. Maybe less razzle dazzle weird shit from John Fossil.
It could be a good match to make sure we still maintain that kind of aggressive energy on special teams with the loss of Bones and kind of helping fill that role. Yeah. Like you said, maybe also with some positives, less cute shit, more results.
Yeah. So we will see. The Turpin is a key for our special teams. Now, head coach Brian Schottenheimer, but we know Brian Schottenheimer may also be calling the offensive play calls. At this point, we don't know who's the offensive coordinator at this moment, right? We got our defensive coordinator, our special teams coordinator, Nick Sorensen, defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. But after those moves, it was an interesting kind of switch off here because then they went away from the coaching. And the Cowboys front office, whether it was Steven or Jerry, since we don't have a fucking GM, we re-signed the guy closest to the best thing on this team when it comes to the front office, and that is Will McClay. Will McClay, guys, was looking at maybe going somewhere else, leaving this team, which at this point for him is probably the best thing. But he's staying in town for some more years. He signed a new 5-year deal with the Cowboys that inks him and links him to the Dallas Cowboys through the 2030 NFL season. So congrats to Will McClay. This will be basically 15, 17 years? By the time that this thing ends, it'll be about 17 years as being the Cowboy, basically the third in charge. And the guy who can only do so much unless if he only was allowed to do more by Jerry and Steven, by taking off the cuffs and letting him do his thing. Instead, the Cowboys say spend $2 on these players and make it
Hey,
work, Will
he has
McClay.
a human meat shield for any mistake that he ever makes called Jerry and Stevens. So maybe he
True.
likes being where he is.
Or you can say that. Yeah, there's a meat shield in that direction, but
You know what I mean?
there's a meat shield going the other direction. If there's ever an issue with the draft, who do you guys blame? You don't blame Jerry and Steven. You guys blame Will McClay. So they got a meat shield too. So either way, both sides are happy with his new contract. He's of course staying as the vice president of player personnel, which
Okay.
he runs the draft, he runs the trades
Yeah.
and the moves his team makes, but it's all governed by the Joneses. Remember that. Um, so as now we have an offensive, I mean we have a defense, we have a head coach, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator. We got McClay back in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So now we started looking for an offensive coordinator after locking down Will McClay. And so Will McClay in the books, which again, to me, maybe the best signing so far of this group of guys.
True.
And then we started looking for Brian Schottenheimer as offensive coordinator. All right. And as things started to take shape, the search was going towards a guy who's the offensive line coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And by the way, I talked to my brother. He's a damn good coach.
Hmm.
According to my brother, he's a good coach. According to all the people out there, all the investigations I've done, guys. Let me explain why this is a good thing. Nothing is great until we see it, but it's a good thing if you want to run the ball
Okay.
because this guy, and I'll explain in a minute. First of all, Schottenheimer likes to run the ball. That's his main thing. He likes to play action, likes to run the ball. That's going to be the offensive basis of things for him, at least the predicted basis of the offense. But the coordinator under Schottenheimer is going to be important. The search is ended up being and given to the job of the offensive coordinator to Clayton Adams with a K, by the way.
Okay.
Clayton Adams, who was a highly touted offensive line coach of the Arizona Cardinals. He underwent a formal interview last Wednesday, and then was hired almost immediately as the offensive coordinator. And then now position coaches have to be put into place after that.
Okay.
But I do want to say one thing here when it comes to Clayton Adams. A couple of things, guys. That's the final available coordinator job on our team, right? You got the defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator. Now we got an offensive coordinator in Clayton Adams. Both sides agreed to terms on Friday of last week on a deal that makes him the newest offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. Um, he basically, guys, his impact, the impact you get from Clayton Adams on the offensive coordinating side of things, along with someone like Schottenheimer who likes to run,
Yeah.
play action, and establish the run game and all that stuff. The thing about Clayton Adams is you're going to get an impact from his coaching when it comes to the offensive line. Well, he was a former offensive line coach literally last year with the Cardinals, and the running game.
Hmm.
These are his specialties. So if you got two guys like Schottenheimer and Clayton Adams, whose offensive mindset is offensive line strength and running game strength, what does that tell you for the Cowboys in 2025? Running back. Whether it's Rico, a draft pick, or both. We're going to be running the ball in 2025. It's not going to be as much passing as we did with McCarthy on first downs, which is good and bad. I think the future is passing on first downs, but you got to do it right. And obviously, we don't have the right coaches or personnel for that, or front office. But running the ball is something we if we do, at least you can stay alive in the playoffs. I don't know, but either way, we got to get to the playoffs. And Schottenheimer, with his run mindset, offensive mindset, then we're going to bring in Clayton Adams, who's our offensive coordinator now. He's got that run mindset, run blocking, offensive line strength, which is the key to the offense. So that's a positive in my mind when it comes to helping this offensive line. The reason I shout out Clayton Adams more than maybe most offensive line coaches that now become coordinators, my brother, Dr. G, he told me that he had to work with third stringers, and they still did well. The fact that he's able to take third stringers and make them solid starters for a season is where Clayton Adams gets his highly touted praise for his job with the Cardinals. With a broken down offensive line for the last couple of years, they still made it work. Running the ball, passing the ball, they made it work. So now as a coordinator with what we have, with the much better talent we have in this team than the Cardinals have, supposedly. Offensive line's young, but I'll talk about the offensive line in a minute. Developing offense as a whole, this guy could lean a little bit with Schottenheimer on the run and let things kind of unfurl from there.
Yeah, to kind of tell the big picture there too, I feel like this fits what the Joneses are maybe looking for as well. with Dak's contract, he's here for the next 4 years. I imagine they're also looking at it as Dak always looked best when we had a strong run game,
Yeah.
and especially now that Dak himself is not able to be as mobile, we kind of do rely on the run game to pick up a little bit of the things that Dak used to be able to do
With his
himself.
legs, yeah. And
So
yeah.
the emphasis with Schottenheimer just kind of being more of a run first mentality. I wonder if that is because part of the reason that he got the job is because they feel like that's going to complement
I
Dak.
think that I agree. I think the Joneses they want they want to use Dak because they paid Dak. Remember that. They want him to throw. But I think maybe they finally are buying in that maybe to help Dak the most in throwing the ball the way they want him to is by running the ball.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, you mentioned it too. Schottenheimer inadvertently comes down to doing something that helps Dak with a lot of play action. He's not doing it necessarily because he loves the pass and he loves leaning towards Dak's strengths. He's doing it because he likes the run game and he likes to be able to play around with tricking people with the run game. So it ends up helping us anyway. I don't really care what the reason is. So I'm trying to be as generally open-minded here and see what it is that Schottenheimer will have in store.
Well, Schottenheimer, he's going to have his Clayton Adams helping the offensive coordinating of this team and running all.
That's where it adds to the whole run game.
Well, that's why I wanted to say the whole reason he stood out, and not just for Schottenheimer, for the NFL, the whole reason was he stood out from all the other Arizona coaches because of how good the offensive line has been. It's a runaway success compared to the rest of the Cardinals. And so this offensive line coach, this offensive line coach who's now offensive coordinator for the first time, it's going to be an interesting little kind of first chance for him to do something. Now we know he's been doing very well with the Cardinals the last couple of years when it comes to controlling that offensive line and running that ball.
Random question for you: does that mean the Cowboys are going to go cheap on the run game too? Then
we can talk about that, baby, all day. That's the thing I didn't want to talk about. But the word is we're going after the top running back in the draft. I wouldn't buy into that as of now. But, I don't care about the draft. I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't care about the draft. I care about free agency more. When we find out what we're doing free agency, then I'll talk to you about who's going to get in the draft. So, again, I just want to make sure that, I want to make sure to discuss it all. After we secured Schottenheimer as our head coach, we got, Eberflus as our defensive coordinator, special teams coach, Sorensen, and now the offensive coordinator being, Clayton Adams from the Cardinals offensive line. And of course, securing Will McClay for basically 5 more years, right? Mm-hmm. The Cowboys staff, Schottenheimer's staff, decided to hire a bunch of guys. And I'll explain to them who they are right now.
Okay.
Cowboys hired David Borgonzi, Aaron Whitecotton, and Andre Curtis. Now, Andre Curtis might sound familiar. That was the guy we were interviewing from the Rooney Rule for the defensive coordinator job, which ended up going to Eberflus. So we did hire Andre Curtis, though. Dave Borgonzi is going to be our linebackers coach. So he's going to be working closely with Eberflus because that's Eberflus's specialty.
Okay,
Eberflus. And then you have Aaron Whitecotton, who's coming in as our defensive line coach. All right, we need to get that run stop inside. We need to get that pressure from the inside mainly, and of course the pass rush might improve. And Andre Curtis, who was touted as maybe a defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, right? The Rooney Rule, unfortunately, but he is going to be the Cowboy defensive passing game coordinator, so basically second in charge to.
So he's pretty high position overall,
right?
At least the interest in him wasn't bullshit.
Right. The interest is real, just not for the defensive coordinator job. His interest is to be Eberflus's right-hand man. And Marco Sepien. Whoa, what the hell? I'm like, who is this guy? Marco Sepien. That's been a while, my man. Hey, we've been broken. We've been broken by this fucking front office, Mark. Help me, please, Mark. Help us.
Shout out to you, Marco Sepien. Much love and a big mahalo. The man Mark with the $2 holler saying, "Where the hell have you been?"
Been a while, Mark. We've been waiting for you too. Man, we're breaking down the code. This should make you. I don't know if it's gonna make you happy or not, but you want.
To know what you're
I want to know what Mark has to say because Mark has been one of the people here the last couple of years screaming about losing so we can get rid of Mike McCarthy. We got rid of Mike McCarthy, and we're still losing. And in my opinion, we're going through the coaching staff right now. We're going to put the cameras on here in a little bit, and as we bring you up to the Super Bowl, But man, Marco Sepien, it's been a crazy, shitty season, shitty off season. It's going to be a shittier off season as we continue. Watch. So we know what's coming. No matter how much money we see, Mark also knows. No matter how much money we have, we ain't spending it.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how many guys are out there, we ain't doing trades. It ain't happening. We're going to stay this way. We're going to stay this way because that's what Jerry Jones wants, and Stephen Jones is going to stay with that. Anyways, big shout out to Marco Sepien on that board. John Luna down to 60 points. And you never know if John Luna and Marco Sepien ever get into a back and forth. It may never end. These are two kings of the castle, so to speak, here on My Cowboys Family. So, anyways, I just want to go through some of these names real quick. The Dave Borgonzi, Aaron Whitecotton, and Andre Curtis. Whitecotton, he's a highly respected defensive line coach. He's coming from the New York Jets. All right. He joins the Cowboys, a part of the branch of the Robert Saleh Niners background. You know, he comes from the Saleh branch. Of course, he was in New York as
I like
well.
what Cole's comment. He's like, 10 years from now, we'll be talking about the shoddy coaching tree taking over.
I hope, but I'm not going to hold my breath yet on that. So again, so that's Whitecotton, right? He's more from the Robert Saleh defensive Jets mindset, or I guess Niners Jets mindset. Again, Robert Saleh, remember, he also interviewed for the Cowboys. He's one of those definite interviewers for the Cowboys head coaching job, which personally I would have liked over Schottenheimer. I would have liked Robert Saleh. And Borgonzi, who's going to be working side by side there at the linebacker spot with Eberflus. Borgonzi returns to the Cowboys, like Eberflus, right? He formerly an offensive and defensive assistant in the early 2010s for the Cowboys. And previously, this matches up to what I was trying to say, he previously was with Eberflus in Chicago. So the connection is obviously he wants his linebacker coach to know what he's thinking, you know, which makes sense. He's a linebacker specialist in Eberflus. So that's the one. Ooh,
for better or for worse, whatever's going on, I'm glad that we don't have to take time to explain it in the building.
Yeah, so that we know the connection. And I will say one last guy here in a minute, Andre Collins. I'm sorry, I can't call it. Andre Curtis, who was the guy that the Cowboys interviewed, the Rooney Rule for the defensive coordinator job, which went to Eberflus, is now the passing game coordinator for the Cowboys. The expectation was made by Al Harris's departure is why we bring in, Andre Curtis as our defensive passing game coach. He stepped into this role. I'm going to say he's stepping into this role and also hired David Overstreet, who's now going to be the cornerbacks coach with and under Andre Collins.
Okay.
So again, with Collins and Borgonzi, there's a connection with Eberflus directly. Overstreet also spent time with Eberflus when Eberflus was with the head coach of the Bears. So he's got three guys on deep. He's got Eberflus and two other guys that are high level. The linebacker coach. They got Andre Collins in there, who's also going to be the passing game coordinator, and Overstreet, who's the cornerbacks coach. He's got guys he knows he trusts on the defensive side of the position coaching side of things. So and second, his right hand man kind of thing. So these three guys that were signed on defense under for Eberflus are very important. It's very clear Eberflus is re-entering the Cowboys defensive coaching game plan with a definitive plan for how he wants to coordinate the Cowboy defense going forward with the players we have, with the players we might bring in. And he's also bringing along coaches, and he knows can help him achieve that goal with this defense.
So real quick, Marco Sepien, a big mahalo as he drops a $5 holler and wants to go towards that target.
Yeah, is that the third hit?
Yes, it is.
17 hits to go. Big shout out to Marco Sepien. What does the man say?
Our D-line picks and coaches have been horrible for years.
Yeah.
Other than Tank, defensive tackles and defensive edges have we had that teams fear in 10 years?
I know we've discussed this many times.
So many busts.
We've discussed it so many times that we've lost guys like Taco. We've lost guys like what was the last guy?
Mozzie we still technically have.
We lost guys to this thing that there's other names I could bring. I don't know why I'm blanking out. I know there's a couple other names that we've missed on. So many guys that to this point now we got lucky we got Micah flipping through here because all the other guys have been misses, injuries. I mean, you got Sam Williams, you got injuries. There's so many different situations that screwed us over the years that it's delayed our defensive line development. Other than a guy that was,
Yeah.
they were fearful, and they still are to some extent, in Demarcus Lawrence, and of course scared shitless from Micah Parsons. There's no one else that's scary.
Yeah, and not to be that person, but the opportunity cost where
Mm,
we went in a different direction pick wise, even
mm,
though we had one of these guys high on our list.
good
Like
point.
again, the year we had Taco. You know,
TJ Watt was there.
exactly. So just saying, like that to me is the one that I feel like hurts us more than the actual guy we got that was a bust. It's like, man, could we have gotten this guy and had him playing at anything close to that high of a level for us? But it is what it is, right? Tristan Hill. There we go. Thank you, El Cool.
Another disaster.
There's a few others in there.
That was it was our second round pick, but it almost feels like our first round pick because that was our only pick.
I remember it when we chose to do what we did with our first round draft pick. That is how we ended up in the situation where Tristan Hill had to carry quite a lot of weight that year when it came to the draft. Obviously, it didn't work out the way we wanted, even this past year. We had a few guys who definitely stood out from the pack. Again, to me, Lou Faust is still like the shining star from this past year's draft, just because, again, with the linebacker position just being so absolutely decimated, he was able to still step in and actually play at a pretty amazing level, considering that he's a rookie and how much he got thrown into the deep end there. So,
I mean, you make some good points there.
and especially, and remember, I'm going to remind everyone that even oh my God, who did we just not bring back as our defensive coordinator?
Oh, Zimmer. Zimmer
There we go.
retired.
Yeah, so Zimmer, I'm just saying, we didn't
Yeah,
bring him back.
yeah.
He retired. But even Zimmer kind of said that those first few weeks he was still trying to figure out exactly how much he wanted to step in defensively. So consider that. The first 6-7 weeks that Lufau was playing was almost directionless as far as from a defensive team perspective. So, to me, that shows just how much more impressive his growth was during that time. Anyway, Monroe Gadet saying, what do we have for a new defensive line coach to work with? Osa and Golston are free agents.
Yeah, Osa's going to be gone. Golston probably, I think both these guys will probably be gone.
I agree.
You got to draft. You got to bring in some cheaper free agents.
That's why we said that it's hard to really dive into the draft without at least getting an idea of the bottom of the barrel free agents that the Cowboys plan on bringing in to fill some of the bigger holes on this team. So some moves will never, even the Cowboys make a handful of moves before the draft starts.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just 4, bullshit moves for fourth string linebacker.
That's cool, Redman R. So there you go, a little bit of fun trivia. So he said today, coincidentally, Saquon Barkley and Cooper DeJohn's birthday. Their jersey numbers, 26 and 33, equal 59. The Super Bowl that they're playing.
And hopefully that means that all that stuff means that it's going to be a great loss for them today. That's what I'm cheering for.
I hope it's a birthday they never forget.
Yeah, we don't want to ever forget that. No, goodness. I'm updating the board, by the way. If you hit a couple comments or another,
of course, all good. So, and again, I can't believe we even forgot about Tristan Hill, but at the same time, of course, we forget about these, horrible last picks. We just erase them from our minds. Yeah. Oh, and again, thinking about our linebackers does just make me think about the injury bug. I'm guessing that maybe that's part of the reason why. Oh my goodness, who's the coach that we just brought in for the linebacker? That's good with the linebackers.
Oh, I mean Eberflus.
Yeah. So no, I thought you meant one of his hires.
Well, no, Borgonzi's a linebacker coach, but it's more about that he worked with him. Not that Borgonzi's a great coach. It's more that he worked under Eberflus, and Eberflus trusts him. So with this team and his plan for our defense.
Yeah, so defensively, obviously, like I said, we're not trying to sit here and wait to figure things out. I mean, we basically got ourselves another head coach as a defensive coordinator.
Again, it reminds me
the Cowboys have a history of doing that.
It reminds me of what we did with, Dan Quinn.
We're just trying to have a plug and play, ready to go type of situation.
We did Dan Quinn. We did it with Mike Zimmer. And
do you see that as the Cowboys going more all in?
Well, it's funny because the last 2 years, right? Last year we got Zimmer, who was a former Cowboy coach. And this year we got Eberflus, who was also a former Cowboys coach.
Yeah.
So Cowboy coaches all over the place, coming on back, it looks like. So getting back to the business here, in a sense. By the way, I want to make sure I got this right. How much time we got before the? We got 3 out of 20. And we got 45 minutes, ain't we? I don't think we're going to hit the goal this time around, guys. 45 minutes for the goal is hit. And Also, 45 minutes for the Super Bowl basically kicks off. So
Yep.
we're going to finish this up strong. And man, I hope we can hit the goal, but I doubt we're going to get there unless there's a barrage of drops coming. But we'll see what happens. Appreciate everybody already, no matter what. Now, I do want to say this, a couple of things here. Now that we got, we had to let go of Fossil. Well, we didn't re-sign Fossil. Special team, we replaced him with Sorensen. And Al Harris replaced him with Andre Curtis, who is the defensive passing game coordinator. The other guy we lost is the wide receivers coach, Robert Prince, who was brought here. Kind of was the guy who was on the table for Tolbert and wanted Tolbert in here. So Cowboys losing a lot of our coaches because we never re-signed any of them. They went elsewhere. They said, we're not waiting for Jerry. Bang, I'm out.
Basically just left them on red.
Yeah, I mean, we know for a fact some of these guys, like Fossil, was waiting until the last second to see, am I coming back? And he was never told anything. So he just said, fuck it, I'm leaving. He went to the Tennessee Titans. So Cowboys in desperate need of stopping some of the coaching bleeding, if you want to call it that, when it comes to highly sought after coaches whose contracts were recently expired in Dallas. I just told you some of the names. So the first big win for this offensive coaching staff side of things is not just, okay, you got Schottenheimer and you got the offensive coordinator we brought in. It's more about, Clayton Adams from the Cardinals. It's more about what's the position situation looking on the offensive side. And I'm gonna tell you right now, tight ends, Lunda Wells, a guy whose contract was expiring. We are very excited to announce that we are keeping Lunda Wells as our tight ends coach. This guy started off way back, coaching tight ends. I'm sorry, coaching offensive linemen. Went to the Giants and helped really their blocking when it came to tight ends as a tight ends coach. And he came to the Cowboys for a last since McCarthy and has really improved our tight end blockers, tight end development. Lunda Wells is a fantastic coach, a very sought after coach, and he's staying in Dallas as our tight end coach, guys. So he's opting to remain in Dallas. And he did weigh many options, guys. He got a call from the Chicago Bears, which is where, by the way, Al Harris is at.
So very tempting.
Yeah, so again, he knows some people there. So again, but he decided to stay in Dallas, Linda Wells, and stay where he knows a little bit better. But his decision with the Cowboys by staying in Dallas provides stability at tight end around a rapidly changing offensive coaching staff, right? So it's good to keep at least one of our better coaches in this whirlwind of coaching changes on our offense.
Yeah, a little bit of consistency there.
Yeah, and again, he's one of the best position coaches in the NFL. Just happens to be he's a tight ends coach, but overall position, he's one of the best in the league. Now, as we said bye-bye to Robert Prince after about 3 years with us, nothing really great with him, but we let him go elsewhere. He signed with the Dolphins. I mentioned that the last time we were live. The Cowboys had to try to find someone to work that role, maybe get someone in there to kind of figure it out. And we had Sanjay Lal carrying bricks before that. I remember you always bring him up.
I know.
The Cowboys ended up turning to, as our wide receivers coach, Tyquan Underwood. He's a former NFL wide receiver who spent the 2024 NFL season as the assistant receivers coach for the New England Patriots. All right. So again, he's basically been promoted from the assistant receivers coach to the Cowboys receivers coach. All right. So
for them,
he went from the Patriots without Belichick, from the Patriots to the Cowboys, and his coaching experience before that began as a receivers coach at Lafayette in college there, and continued through Rutgers and through Pittsburgh, again to the college ranks, where he was also an offensive passing game coordinator.
Okay.
Before last year, after Belichick left, joining the Patriots staff as the assistant receivers coach. Now this year turned around, now part of the Schottenheimer Cowboy staff, promoted to receivers coach, wide receivers coach. So out with Robert Prince and in with Tyquan Underwood. All right, getting his first chance to kind of, again, another promotion for him in his time with the in the NFL, trying to move up the ranks. Now, on offense, we're staying on offense here. This is Schottenheimer's side of things, right? What about the running back situation? We talked about running backs. We talked about how important it's going to be. We got Clayton Adams, who's going to be a run-minded guy. We got Schottenheimer's a run-minded guy. So one of the more discussed coaches? Yeah, what's going to happen, right? So when it comes to the the roster side of things in the running back side and the coaching side, is really a lot of question marks. In the end, we knew there was a couple guys the Cowboys were looking at. Former Cowboy running backs, DeMarco Murray. I know we're looking at Derek Foster, Rashad Samples, Tashard Choice, another former Cowboy running back. So again, all these guys, it was headlined by University of Texas running back coach Tashard Choice, who's a former Cowboy running back as well, and a former Cowboy offensive assistant, right? So that was interviewed a lot of people, and he was one of them. He in competition with Tashard Choice, it was also an interview of New Orleans Saints running backs coach Derek Foster, Oregon running back coach Rashad Samples. And again, those are two of the three names that are currently being employed at the collegiate level that shows Schottenheimer's kind of open-mindedness with leaning towards bringing in fresh ideas, younger guys, you know what I'm saying? And new names kind of into the mix. So this is on Schottenheimer. He wants to bring in some new names, some young guys. And in the end, who won this? Was it Tashard Choice? Was it Rashard Staples or Samples? No, it was Derek Foster. He's the running back. He was the New Orleans Saints running backs coach, and now he's the Cowboys running backs coach. So congrats to Derek Foster. He'll be working with whoever's back there.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, he's going to be important because we're going to be leaning on the run, it seems like, on offense this year. So, yes, Derek Foster, our new running backs coach, and agreed to join St. Adams as, the offensive coordinator, and, of course, Schottenheimer as the head coach. This is going to be an offensive mindset here. I'm going to jump back to the defense, though, because at the end of this thing, the last kind of major thing before yesterday was the Cowboys ended up signing another defensive coach. His name is Brian Bing. Brian Bing, he reunites with Eberflus, a fourth guy that knows Eberflus. They spent the last 2 years together with the Bears, and basically he's the latest guy. He's his job now for the Cowboys is the assistant defensive line role next to defensive line coach Aaron White Cotton. So it just sounds like he's just adding another guy that he knows to work with the defensive line coach, to have kind of hands. He basically has hands all over. He's got hands on linebacker. He's got his guy here that's going to help Whitecomb, who's, he's got hands involved on the defensive line. He's got hands involved in the back end with the passing game coordinators and with Collins. I'm sorry, Andre Curtis and Borgazzi for the linebackers coach. He has all the guys. He has a hand in every level of guys that he knows in every level of our defense. So that's a plus for Eberflus, making do with what personnel we have. And this team, along with his mindset of what to do with it and the coaching style he has, using the coaches that he knows, they know what he wants. So, for better or for worse, we're rolling with Eberflus on defense and Schottenheimer and his crew playing Adams on offense.
And the Cowboys are obviously giving their kind of gold seal of approval if they're letting Eberflus bring in all of his people.
Exactly.
So they're on board.
Right. They're on board with Eberflus bringing in guys that are his guys, but also cheap. And also, I'm guaranteeing you're not going to have a lot of room to work with when it comes to bringing in players on defense.
Lunatic, shout out to you, man. He said,
"They're lunatic in the house."
Successfully cheering another team to beat Filthy.
I hate it.
Thanks, Jerry.
I hate it. It's all Jerry. We did this to ourselves, and Jerry did. Actually, not us. Jerry did it to our star. The star of everything.
Yeah, we didn't do it to ourselves.
Can't see, though. They did the right thing to get the right coaches, to get the right players, to get the right front office working. They got the right GM, that's not the owner. And that's how you win. You don't win the way Jerry Jones has been doing it, and we know it because it's been 29 years of disastrously losing in embarrassing ways. Thank you, Jerry. Anyways, Brian Bing, in case you're wondering, for Eberflus on defense, the fourth guy that he knows on the defensive side of the ball that he's bringing in, he also operated the same job as the assistant defensive line coach when he was with the Colts under Eberflus as a defensive coordinator. So, when he became the head coach, Eberflus became the head coach in Chicago. This guy got a kind of a promotion. Now that Eberflus is back to defensive coordinator, Bing is back to doing what he did with the Colts when he was defensive coordinator. That makes sense, right? I do want to touch on special teams, I guess. Well, not special teams. Let's finish it with the offensive line, because this to me is one of the bigger ones. I don't want to talk about special teams. I don't mean special teams. Strength and conditioning. Same guys are here. If you remember strength and conditioning, you remember the guy who passed away? Harold Nash.
Passed away during a Cowboy practice or something?
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago. He was our strength and conditioning coach. Remember, they said they wanted new guys and kind of more guys to help out. Guess what we brought in now as the head of strength and conditioning coaching?
Who?
Harold Nash Jr.
Oh, wow.
His son. But he's been with the Cowboys organization for 19 years.
Okay.
So he just kind of got that solidified. I don't know if he was there last year or not doing this, but he's now fully doing that, along with the assistant strength and conditioning coach, Kendall Smith. He's been with the Cowboys for 11 years. and assistant strength and conditioning coach Cedric Smith. I don't know if he's been to the Cowboys. These guys have been in the NFL.
Yeah.
Cedric Smith's been in the NFL for 23 years.
Hmm.
He needs some experienced
Good.
strength and conditioning coaches. Harold Nash Jr., of course, the son of the man who passed, who was running our stuff here 3 years ago. Kendall Smith for 11 years, and Cedric Smith for 23 years. A lot of good strength and conditioning coaches. Hopefully it's enough. Because, the Cowboy players complain about not having enough good guys like
I
that.
know.
They have good guys. It's not enough of them. 3 of them is not enough. They need 8 or 9 like other teams have. So, the final move before we pop the camera, I guess before we say, kind of pop the camera on and say our one-on-ones with you guys, and then say farewell before we see this unfortunate Super Bowl. I want to bring up to a point one last guy, which is our offensive line coach. Very important, right? We got a former offensive line coach in Caden Smith from the Cardinals as our offensive coordinator. He likes to run. He likes to have a good offensive line. He likes to run the ball. Schottenheimer likes to run the ball. So it's very important. Who and what are we going to do with our offensive line and our offensive line coach? With a lot of young guys.
Yep.
You know the names, right? Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton. Even Tyler
Steele.
Smith in there, right? Even Terrence Steele's undrafted. He's a veteran, but and Zach Martin. We don't know how long he's going to be here.
Got a lot going on the O-line.
So another day, yesterday, we hired the offensive line coach for this team. And I kind of like this, baby. You know who we hired?
Who?
It's a name that we almost wanted as an offensive coordinator for this team a couple of years ago. His name is Connor Riley. You might be like, "What? Who?" Guys, this guy again. He was the last job he had. Connor Riley, offensive coordinator in college of the Kansas State Wildcats. Does that ring a bell to you guys? Kansas State Wildcats. That's Cooper Beebe's school. And that's also Deuce Vaughn's school.
Okay.
Running, blocking, running. He's the offensive line coach. He was the offensive coordinator. He's now dropped to an offensive line coach under coaches that have a running mindset.
Okay.
Which is Clayton Adams, our offensive coordinator, and of course head coach Ron Schottenheimer. So you're kind of seeing what's happening here.
Good fit.
It sounds like a good fit. It sounds like we're going to be heavily running this year. So this guy here, Connor Riley, offensive coordinator of Kansas State, former offensive line coach of the multi-title winning North Dakota State program. So he's a very good coach, especially offensive line-wise. Signed in as a Cowboys O-line coach yesterday, reuniting him with Cooper Beebe, our starting offensive lineman, and of course Deuce Vaughn, both from K-State. Mm-hmm. And he coached both these guys. Like, he coached them because he was the offensive coordinator. So he knows both these guys very well. Now he's focusing in on Cooper Beebe and the offensive line, the young offensive line. I do think this is a good hire for the guys we have. It matches the personnel. So I do like this move. Basically, it's marrying what Connor Riley brings, for the offensive coordinating side of things from K-State, and also the knowledge of the offensive line that he has is extensive. He brings that offensive coordinating and the offensive line mindset in that process to what Clayton Adams, our offensive coordinator, brings in. He has an extensive offensive line experience and success. So that's two. Basically, we have two offensive line coaches guiding this offense, along with offensive running-minded head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. Yeah. So if you think we can go passing crazy, I would be surprised. I think it's going to be a run-based offense with maybe not many, maybe Tolbert moving into that second spot. And then some third guy's a rookie or some guy we have on the roster coming in that third spot, because passing is going to be CD, it's going to be running back at the backfield, it's going to be Jake Ferguson, and then maybe Tolbert. You know what I'm saying? I feel that's going to be more of a thing than it is, let's spread the ball around to 15 different receivers. It's going to be, let's throw it to 4 different guys and run the ball the rest of the time. That's what I kind of feel we're heading towards with the coaches that we've signed and hired under the Schottenheimer mindset on offense, Clayton Adams mindset on running an offensive line, and now K-State's former offensive coach, but also very well-known offensive line coach, and now our offensive line coach, Connor Riley. So when you've got Clayton Adams, Derek Foster, the running backs coach, you have Brian Schottenheimer, of course, all these run-based, offensive line-based mindset coaches, and then you throw in there, of course, Connor Riley. this is what the Cowboys. We're getting told what the Cowboys are going to do this year by just with the four names I just mentioned.
Exactly.
It's going to be run, and run some more. That's going to be the key. That's going to be the identity. At least we got an identity. Last year we had none. At least we already know our identity on offense is going to be running that ball and running to create passing. They're running to create the offense. They're running to play action out of pass the ball and use Dak's skills properly. So that's the hope I'm hoping we're going to be doing here going forward. But hopefully it's a clearer picture now how the Cowboys offense is going to be run. And I'm no pun intended with that word run in 2025 and maybe even beyond that. So that's the up-to-date coaching carousel for our Cowboys. I hope you guys enjoyed that whole thing. A couple quick questions. I'll turn the camera on and say hi. And hit a couple questions first before we
Of course.
get to that part.
12 man off grid. Of
Close it
course,
down.
we
12
won't
man.
promise we won't tell the Mama Dukes. He's like, don't tell my mom who's the KC fan. I'm secretly rooting for the Eagles.
Oh, get out of here. We don't want that. Even Schottenheimer said, I got to go.
Yes. So, Dustin Roberts saying, I'm excited about the direction that the offense is heading in. Run the damn ball.
That is one of the, I guess, I just don't want to get stuck in a boring run game where we run a first down and we gain 1 yard. Now it's 2nd and 1.
Yeah, it's hard for
and
me
then
to
it's
not
second,
feel
and then it's third and 8 again. Every
I feel
single time. I get nervous.
Disillusioned because we've had that mindset before, and the only time it really kind of worked in more modern times was when we had Zeke and a really good offensive line. So, let's see how
we have
else it can work.
Far proven offensive line and no running back other than Rico, who's
and
good. He's average.
Tony Pollard or Dowdle or any of our other running backs. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
So
I agree. So,
and especially looking at what the Eagles have been able to accomplish with Saquon Barkley and just how dominant their run game has allowed their offense and their team to be.
Puts them back on the map. It puts them back on the map when it comes to, the running back position. Now people are going to be overspending on running backs. I just hope the Cowboys are smart.
I don't think we're going to be one of those teams. I have to be honest.
True. I don't think we'll overspend on draft though.
We might overdraft.
There you go.
But yeah, Jerry just needs to put more cashola in the account then.
Yeah. So listen, I'm gonna do this because we did say we're gonna get to pop the camera on. We were hoping to have Seabass on here for his final, I guess, the one ode. We might have more in the future, but there's one ode appearance on the channel. So we were hoping to have him on here. We were hoping to do a couple other things, but we were hoping to even do the Super Bowl. As we said from the beginning, we weren't doing the Super Bowl tonight. We're gonna enjoy it with the family, our own side of the family here, and try to make sure that we don't get. Look, it's the fucking Eagles. F Philly. And it's no fun watching the Super Bowl when it's like that. Now, I will say hello from us. The camera's done. I see.
What is up, MCS?
We got the Super Bowl party already on our side.
To watch.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy the Super Bowl, but it won't be on camera with you guys. I guess I could leave it on running, and you guys can see the score jump up on there. But in the end, there's no really need to do that. Unfortunately, I think the goal has been not met for the second half of the stream. But either way, we appreciate everybody in the house. And I guess we have any last comments or questions or thoughts before we get out of here. In 10 minutes, Super Bowl starts. So we want you guys to enjoy that. And again, huge shout outs to sponsor of the week, of the month, really, John Luna, who is going to take it down another week, another session. He's going to win it. John Luna, another one. He's got 55 points up there. We don't have a gifting champion, so that's going to just stay open.
Yeah.
But we do have another champion in Cash App side. Oh, and, of course, the man, John Luna.
Hold up, wait a minute.
He said, hey, maybe we will have a chance. I don't know. We'll see.
There's
15 minutes left. I don't know if he's going to be able to hit them all. But he's for the lunatic.
Thank you so much, Mr. John Luna. He's got the Luna love from John Luna to the Lunatic.
The LL connection there. But the Lunatic is also...
The Lunatic is also the Lunatic because he's a Luna. So
yeah, it's a good point.
That's why I said it's it's that Luna representation.
That's a great point. The Lunatic. I also got to put Mark Hofsepian down.
That's right.
Right. So we have 4 on there. I doubt in 15 minutes we're gonna hit the other 16.
That was kind of one of the more repeated comments there, and Mark Hofsepian kind of touched on it too. So when it comes to the D-line and the D-line coaches and just the D-line available players and things like that. Like, what exactly does that look like for us? So
The D-line coaches, that's the big question for me.
John Luna said, "You know what it looks like? It looks like me dropping
another
a $5
Holy
holler.
shit.
Thank you so much."
Who's this one for?
Put this one down for G Money.
G Money.
Hey,
on the board. If
there
we
you
get to
go.
the again, if we get, I kind of want to give him anyways. You know what I'm saying? But I got to keep to the rules. But man, I appreciate you, John Luna, so much. He's up to 65 points, by the way.
That's right.
On that
You
stream,
upped
boss.
yourself.
Yeah, and he is. I'm gonna hit the like there, man. We are 15 away. I guess 15 in 15 minutes. I guess it could be possible, but. We'll see what happens. We'll talk it out here to the end. I do want to bring up a couple comments though. When it comes to Eberflus and his situation with the Cowboys, I think the bigger thing is that Eberflus is surrounding himself with guys that he knows.
Yeah.
4 or 5 coaches he knows in detail. And then on top of that, on top of getting the guys that you kind of know from your previous Indianapolis days, even Cowboy days, Indianapolis days, and Bears days, the other thing that's important is that he knows the Cowboy personnel, and he's getting guys that kind of going to help towards that personnel. So all I can do is say, listen, he's getting his crew in there to help with his crew to help with the personnel the Cowboys have, and then work with what we got. That's what he's doing. And I think he knows, being a former Cowboy, and he knows he got dicked over by the Joneses not even being allowed to interview.
Yeah.
He knows the Joneses ain't gonna let him do whatever he wants. He knows the Joneses are not gonna let him go get any defensive. They're not gonna get Von Miller. The Joneses know this, and you know what? So does Eberflus, and that's why the Joneses hired him, because they know he's not gonna go bitch, because they know the Joneses style, and Eberflus knows. I got to work with what I got.
Basically, he knows what's up.
He knows the deal. Another drop by John Luna right there, which makes us 14 away from it. And he said this one's going to
Dustin Roberts.
Thank
you so much, Mr. Luna. Appreciate that. Much love to you there. And again, if you guys have any other kind of football thoughts or things you want to touch on, like I said, the D-line was the biggest thing.
Yeah. D-line's going to be tough because to me there's going to be a lot of holes. We're going to have Mozzie who's going to have to start there, right?
Whether we like it or not.
He has to. And then we're going to have, I'm going to say this. We're going to, listen, I predict that the Cowboys will probably bring in, we had Linville Joseph. I don't know if he'll come back, but someone like him will be the guy we bring back. Or a draft pick later in the draft, which needs to be developed. Don't count on them, doing great day one. So if you want day one better inside, you're going to have to hope Mozzie gets better because he's starting no matter what. And we bring in a veteran like Linville Joseph or someone maybe better than him, but now we're stretching it with the Joneses. So if you bring it, you can kind of solidify your starters like that.
Stretching it, thinking of the possibility of Osa even coming.
He won't. I don't think the Cowboys won't pay for it. He's
going to be priced out of our range.
He's going over to Dan Quinn in Washington probably. So what I'm seeing is the Cowboys with the defensive line. Edges were okay. Of course, DeMarcus Lawrence 1 more year, it sounds like. And Micah Parsons is one of the best in the league. Sam Williams will be back. So he'll be back in that rotation. I like Marshawn Nealon. So I think those are the 4 rotating guys on the outside. The inside is when we have the problem. And not just the guys that have to stop the run game, like Mozzie and whoever else we draft or bring in, or Linville Joseph. But we also got to have depth. And the linebackers have to be free to go in there and stop the run. And that's where linebackers is where Eberflus will help us.
Yeah.
He'll help us stopping the run with the linebackers. But we need to get that defensive line solidified. And a little pressure up the middle with the pass rush wouldn't hurt for our offensive line. I know we had a little bit from Osa, but maybe we get someone to get about the same amount of production than him and pay him not as much. And John Luna, once again.
Thank you again, Mr. Luna. He said this one's for Monroe Gadet. And okay, how about I make one last super chat for the amount for those last 14 goals? And will that count?
That hits. That would hit. If you hit it with that, and we just counted, yeah. I don't even know how many are left. But we got 14 to go.
Yeah.
14? Oh, yeah, we do. Okay,
14
no.
now.
Yeah, 14 to go. Okay,
So yes, Mr. Luna, we'll honor that since we're about to wrap up and start heading out here. Homegirl Cowboy, what's up? How are you doing? Hopefully you're having a
homegrown in the house.
I mean, as happy of a Super Bowl as
Cowboy
what
can we do when we are stuck watching the fucking Eagles on Super Bowl Sunday? I mean, that's literally the nightmare you never want to see ever happen, and it's a nightmare that. If you've been watching My Cowboys Family for 8 years, you've seen the struggles of watching. This is the 3rd Super Bowl we have to experience since we made this channel with the Eagles and the God in the Super Bowl. Luckily, we got to see them lose one. Unfortunately, they won one.
Hopefully, they lose another.
They lost 2 before we started our channels. They lost to the Raiders back in '80, and they lost to the Patriots when Donovan McNabb threw up on the field. I would love to see Jalen Hurts throw up on the field today and take an L for
And
them
then didn't
again.
they lose to?
Well, then they lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got three. They're in 4 Super Bowls. They've won one against the fucking Patriots somehow, and then they've lost 3. Hopefully today will be 4.
And Sniper 1 2 3 4 exactly. Philly still sucks.
Fuck Philly. By the way, that's kind of what I want. Kind of as we're getting into the Philadelphia, fuck Philly in the Super Bowl. And I don't like Kansas City. I got to respect their GM. I got to respect their coach. I respect
Hey,
Mahomes. These
they're
guys
doing it
are
better than we are right now.
they're the top of their game, and they deserve it. That's why they keep doing it, because they got the best coach, the best quarterback, and the best front office in the league, basically. Although the Eagles, I would say, have the best front office. Honestly, I hate saying it. But Howie Roseman, can we trade for you, please? Can we get him on the Cowboys and get rid of Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, please? We'll give you 2 for 1. So, but I still got to say this, and again,
Took the helicopter for free.
this, yeah, they're throwing the Jerry Jones, the Jones copper. Listen, the thing is this, is the thing that we have to hope for, makes me sick to my stomach. It's almost like winning a Super Bowl if the Eagles lose today. I know it sounds bad, but to me, it feels my day will be ruined. My night on After Dark will be ruined if the Eagles win tonight. Some people want to see that, even if they hate the Eagles, because they want to see me pissed. And then the other side is I can't even be happy if the Chiefs win, because I don't want to see a three-peat. I don't want to see 3 out of 4 years. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see them getting 5 Super Bowls like us. So I'm not happy either way. But I know one way I'll be a lot more unhappy. And I'll be a lot more unhappy if the fucking Eagles win.
Mm.
So, Chiefs, please win one more time.
I know.
Do it for us. Because this clown show sending me to fucking 6 feet under faster. But also remember, even with the clown show, we still got 5 on it.
Always.
And 5 right now, I hope I don't have to change this. 5 is still basic math. Still greater than 1, Sirianni, you crying bitch.
Yeah, still works out that way. And hopefully it'll continue to work that
And
way.
of course, let's sing it together here before the Super Bowl. Fuck Philly. And cry, Eagles cry, on the road to misery.
Okay, that's one. Yeah. Now, homegrown, again, with no preference or particular order, I would say probably wide receiver, running back, linebacker.
For the draft?
Yeah, it's not like
Right, we don't know.
my 3 biggest positions of need right now. I think we need a lot more skill positions. I saw something throughout the last few weeks that basically said the Cowboys are the team that has drafted the most offensive linemen in the last like 10, 12 years or something, in the top like 2 or 3. It hasn't really gotten us the results we want as far as actual results. We've got the guys drafted. We just need to build them up. Like you said, or kind of coaching changes will hopefully lead to that.
Offensive
But
line,
right now,
K-State, you know?
we need
help
skilled guys. We need receivers. We need a running back, especially running backs, plural, to help supplement this new run-heavy offense that we're all kind of expecting. And then linebackers, because, well, we always need linebackers, whether it's injury or just nature.
You made some great points. I think drafting an offensive lineman early. Drafting a defensive lineman early is a bad mistake because you need 2 years of development.
Exactly. I'm over it. Just go find yourself your little cheap $1 million veteran on the verge of
retirement. Linville Joseph guy. Yeah. Jordan Phillips, when he left us, we let him go after injury was real or not. Exactly. He went to the fucking Bills and he looked fucking great. He's getting sacks and.
So that's just kind of my immediate mindset. Let's just say, fuck it. Obviously, what we've been doing in certain ways needs to change. I'd rather us invest all these amazing draft skills we have on getting some of those skill players that can produce immediate results. There you go.
100%. Listen, I agree other than the receiver spot. I think receiver we can go late, maybe in the second. I think, look, here's the thing that bothers me.
Moving on from Brandon Cooks.
Right. Now, you're right. No, you're right. You have a good point. So the thing is that if we're leaning towards run, we go receiver. So that's why I'm saying.
In a weird way, yeah. Are we going to see Lamb and Kavontae Turpin handle all of it? Because that's kind of I love both of them. Just that's a big gap. That's a wide berth between them. And honestly, one of the biggest things that CD needed was a number 2 receiver that this team could count on that could help open up some of that space. I mean, when everyone was only targeting CD, no one else was really getting open. And then the few times we saw a few little moments like where Turpin's speed did actually make the play, like he still doesn't have the size to make those types of plays consistently the way that we would need it from a number 2 or 3.
He didn't create any separation either.
Plus, didn't we get who's the guy that we drafted to kind of be our number 3 receiver? Because right now, for some reason, Bingo's the only other receiver. Tolbert's still going to be on the team.
Jalen Brooks. Mingo. Here's the thing. I think
The thing
Mingo.
that's missing
Yeah,
is that hole that Brandon Cooks is going to leave behind as our
we
number
traded
2.
Mingo. We traded a 4th rounder for Mingo. So in a way, he's going to be our number 3.
Well,
And
Marco Seppian has some thoughts there with the $5 holler. You know what he said?
5 on it,
Since
which makes it a little closer now for John Luna, right?
So he said Jonty is a stud.
Yeah.
But there are no wide receivers in the second round that make me hard. A stud running back will be there in the second round for us, and then, get a receiver in the first round. And then you get a stud free agent as well, and that kind of completes the...
So, Mark, 100% agree. That's kind of, oh, fuck. Well, there you go. Everyone gets your just desserts on that one because Mr. John Luna just put everybody over the top. Can't wait to hear the names.
He just said, hold up, wait a minute.
And we'll get to them, and I will get to it. I promise you, the man, John Luna, we bow down to you. He's 100 points fully loaded. He's won.
Yes.
The sponsor of the week again.
In honor of Charles Ringley.
And yes, and I say he won. It is in honor of his boy there. And again, we have all the information in the
description.
And of course, even on the scroll here right below there, Mr. Rylander. We our thoughts with you and your family, and of course, with John Luna and all the love he's dropped here.
Yep.
Appreciate all of it from you guys.
He said this should put y'all over the limit, plus cover some of that YouTube tax. And finally, as always, I love you guys and all my MCF family. You guys rock. To eat some barbecue and enjoy some time with my wife Keisha. So first, enjoy that Super Bowl barbecue. Enjoy your super wife, Keisha. And thank you so much, Mr. Luna. We will just make sure if you're here in the chat,
we'll put you in.
You're in.
Yeah, like Homegrown and Lord Nova. We'll just throw you guys in the mix. We'll go.
Sniper,
we'll go
all you guys. Thank you so
Screenshot
much.
that so we can get those names. We'll get you on there, and we'll get you in the raffle to be able to get a raffle for whenever we do our next raffle. For these jerseys right here, baby, because it is a Super Bowl and it is Troy Aikman, baby. Let's go. And he has 3 of them, and so the day I start off the playoffs with Emmitt Smith, he got 3 of them too. So remember that we got 5 pointed star. That's 5 Super Bowls. We need to get 6 and beyond, baby. That's what we need. Big shout outs to John Luna. Big shout outs to Marco Seppian. I want to address both of these comments real quick.
Yeah, that kind of fits. What Mark said kind of fits into what you were saying in the sense of, running back in the first round isn't really what you would want to do.
And that's what he said. That's why Gentry is the name. That's the number 1 running back. That's the one everyone wants the Cowboys to get. I don't think that's a good idea because the running backs, what happens if you switch the coordinator or the coach in a year? Now you base this whole offense on running, and now you're going to just rip that guy out? So if you're going to go with Gentry, then you can bet your ass that Schottenheimer's probably going to be here until Dak's contract, 4 years. That's what it feels like to me. If you're going to take that kind of draft pick and use it on that.
You're really going all in on these next 3-4 years of,
running
this
the ball.
The plan.
That would be if they get Gentry. But I am with Mark Hovsepian, and like you, a receiver seems to fit, and you kind of made. Wasn't even thinking about the draft, but since you guys are making me think about it, I guess I do like your breakdown. Homegrown Cowboy made the comment. You answered it perfectly. I would say. I think you hit it out the ballpark.
If you want to get cute Cowboy style, you could even move down a little in the first round.
Oh, I love moving down.
A receiver and then go all crazy.
I love to see us move, down the draft and get some more draft picks, but. Jerry likes to make the splash with the higher draft pick because it's the bigger name, and that's what Jerry does. Impact. So my point though is if you have an impactful wide receiver right there, you get a 1A, 1B. Yeah. A CeeDee Lamb is 1A and 1B in this draft. I'm down with that. We got Ferguson. Yeah. We got mostly an offensive line. We already got young guys in there. You got.
It was when we got CeeDee, and he was our 3rd receiver.
You got to remember also you got Zach Martin might be leaving, but a lot of people are happy with TJ Bass in that spot. I'm not a big fan of Terrence Steele. But, what I'm trying to say is that there's things on the offensive line we can help. I don't think we need any tight ends. I think at running back, you can find the guys out there for cheap. I think Rico can come back. I like Rico. And you can draft a running back in the second round. Exactly what you said. Exactly what Marco Seppian said. Hey, we're on the same page finally. See, it feels like that would be the right move. Get somebody who creates separation as a receiver because it was not Brandon Cooks did not create separation. Neither did Tolbert. So Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, or Mingo is our 3rd guy. Fine. But we need that solid number 2. That's why I think I agree with you. So that first round pick could be receiver. Second round pick should be running back. A solid good running back to team up with another, low level free agent like Rico. You give him $3 million or something.
I'm also kind of curious to see how my thoughts change as we go through free
Free
agency
agency
and
changes
do a
things.
little
That's
bit
true.
more looking into the draft. And I'm pretty sure last year I ended up kind of sticking to my original thought process, but that's also because it was pretty clear what the Cowboys did, and then we basically did nothing during free agency. So of course nothing changed. We
Yeah.
have a lot more changes now just with the coaching staff and other things going on. So
Yeah.
and too many gaps
Yeah.
on the
Still figure
defense.
out what the draft is going to
I'm
give us. Yeah.
expecting even a handful more free agent moves, even if they're not, again,
I know the big names.
not big
But
names.
remember, on defense, we talk about offense. Let's finish with defense, and we're
Yeah.
calling it a stream. There's a Super Bowl starting in
Yeah, we
20
gotta
minutes.
get our Super Bowl
We gotta
snacks
get
ready.
we gotta get the kids coming out. We're gonna enjoy this thing. But listen, here, even if we'll enjoy it only if the fucking Eagles lose. So the thing is, I will say that offense. We kind of talked about all the different positions. I think receiver, offensive line always can need help, and running back. But I think that on defense. Talk about the interior defensive line. I talked, about Mozzie and maybe bringing in a lower level kind of veteran guy. We got our pass rushing 4 guys on our, Sam Williams and Nealon will be our backups to DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah. Linebackers are old. We don't have Kendricks. We don't have Overshown. He's going to be gone for half the year at least. So we need some guys now. Lou Fowl, I love, and I'm sure we'll bring in a couple guys.
We need help. I don't
We
know
need
how we'll
help.
do it.
So
I'd like to see it more draft wise.
if there is a big name linebacker that fits what we need him to do on Everflus's defense, don't be surprised if we draft a linebacker. I know we hate drafting linebackers in the first round, but don't be surprised. Now, if the receiver name is up here, the linebacker name is down here, we're going receiver. But I think linebacker is a big one. I think also, and we're never going to draft this position in the first 3 rounds, but we're going to lose all our safeties, our starters.
I haven't even started thinking about
Malik Hooker gone, and what's his name? Fucking I gotta forget his name. The other Wilson, Donovan Wilson. Both these guys I think are gone. So that leaves us now. Well, here's the thing: we do have young guys coming up, like Wanye Thomas, like Marquise Bell. So do we need a draft? Do we need to pick up more? I think we have Mukwamu as well as a backup. I think he's on his last year. I think he is off. I think he's a free agent now. My point is, we'll need guys. We'll go with the Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas. These are both undrafted. Will they be the starters? And we would bring in guys underneath them, or we're going to bring the guys above them and have them as the solid backups.
I'm going to throw this out there just because
safeties, they don't care about safeties.
So many of our defensive coaches wouldn't be surprised if we don't bring in a Chicago safety that just happens to find himself a free agent. Just throwing that out there.
Eddie Goldman.
Again, one of the big things that it seems like the defense is doing, at least from a coaching perspective, is again, we're going with familiar, already established. I don't want to have to sit here and explain shit to you.
It shows with the coaching.
I want things to just go.
It shows with the way the Joneses did this with Everflus, bringing out we brought Zimmer back first last year.
Exactly.
We brought Everflus back this year. And then Everflus brought back 4 or 5 of his coaches.
And let's be real.
They're going to bring back a player or 2 that matches their defense.
Chicago is imploding. Myles Garrett's basically like, please get me shaking the
wrong team, baby.
Oh, sorry, you're right. He's at the Cleveland Browns. Sorry, the problem is both crappy teams at the scene. But no, the point is that you have so many organizations that are basically like imploding from the inside.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of available players out there.
The Bears are again somehow in another transitional period.
For Eberflus, and for Eberflus, that is a good point because he will fight. He knows the good players on the Bears defense that are going to be free agents that
the same way that Quinn took all of our free agents, into Washington,
and the way he also did a lot of that, with his guys that he knew when he came to the Cowboys that first year. A lot of Keanu Neal and. Was it Keanu Neal? I think it was Keanu Neal. It was from the Formula Falcons, and so he brought in the first year. He brought in 4 or 5 guys he knew, even if they didn't work out, to help him get used to this defense. You get used to the coach, the new coach with the new players, right? Yeah. And the same thing happened last year with Zimmer. He brought in Eric Kendricks, who married and merged it together, right? The players can learn from Kendricks, and Zimmer can help coach through Kendricks. So I think I agree 100%. I think Eberflus will bring in, whether it's a linebacker or a safety or someone solid from the Bears that's under the radar, is not going to be too costly. It'll be like an Eric Kendricks, $4 million guy on defense. I do predict that as well. These are predictions, your thoughts. I think maybe you've been knocking. I don't know. We need more breaks from MCF so we can get our brains kind of unfried, because we're so fried from this past season that we're like, we're busy. Schedules are changed. Things are tougher to do here on this stream, but we still will do it. We're still going to bring it. We're still going to bring it on game days and all that stuff, but. keep you guys in the loop. Maybe not as breaking news as it used to be, but we're definitely going to keep you guys in the loop. Discuss it with you guys. We want to know your thoughts. We will not bullshit you. We will not give you these fucking, we're going to trade for Myles Garrett and we're going to give away Trayvon Diggs and a sixth rounder. Let's take it. That's for the dummies. That's not here. So here we keep it real, and we appreciate the real fans, the real family in the house here. All 30 of them that were in here earlier, and now we're starting to lose people because everyone's watching the game, and so are we. So any last shout outs, baby? Any last comments or thoughts
Justin Roberts, Homegrown Cowboy, John Luna, Lord Nova. We have, of course, Marco Seppian,
John Luna,
Sniper 1234.
Marco Seppian, all these
Joe Martinez, Tough Man Off Grid, G Money, The Lunatic, El Cool, Baguette, Red Man R, El Cool, Plastic Aguilar 04.
I know I heard a couple After Dark family members in the house too.
Boogie. I know Charbaddy was in here.
Charbaddy, yes.
Meatball Ron, what's up?
12th Man is a part of the After Dark crew.
Brandon J, all you guys again. Thank you so much to everybody here.
And by the way, we didn't have. I know John Luna's done. He's enjoying time with his wife. I know nobody.
Skeptical fan as well.
Skeptical, much love to you. He was in here as well. Justin Quarles is in here. Big shout out to him. Freedom First was first. But I do want to say, even though we didn't have a gifting champion this week, it just will carry on to the next time. The next time, we'll just reset it. So either way, but we do have our sponsor of the week, the man John Luna, with the drop of the month.
That's right.
The drop of the year on this channel for 2025. John Luna, who just took it all over. So shout out to him. He's a 7-time sponsor of the week. 6-time gifting champion because nobody won it this time around. And also, of course, representing Fully Loaded, John Luna on the Stream Boss. And don't forget, they're the king of the Cash App, skeptical fan, but he's also back-to-back. He's staying skeptical. Here we choke again, but he's back-to-back as our Cash App king, wearing that crown, back-to-back, just like our 90s Cowboys. That's baby. Right. Let's go. Bring some of that back for the 20s, but right now we're halfway done with this fucking decade, and it ain't looking good. So, guys, thank you again for being with us. You get to see our little faces here once a month or so when we go live. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live. And, of course, don't forget to hit like for this stream as well if you're watching this now on replay. Comment down below. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, but why?
Love you guys.
We do.
Love you guys. Hate the Super Bowl. Hope the Chiefs beat the Eagles. But you know why we do this thing here? On MCF, maybe on After Dark? On After Dark as well. But you know what we do is here at MCF, My Cowboys Family, I know. Hopefully tonight is to see this say the same. Yes. 5 is greater than 1. It's also hopefully to see this. Cry, Eagles, cry, as I like to say. Die, Eagles, die.
Continue the crying tradition.
But here on My Cowboys Family, baby, tell them why we do this each and every... For 8 years, basically, doing this on My Cowboys Family on YouTube. Why do we do this?
That navy blue. That silver too.
That
over star there. Over everything.
Everything, baby. You know it. Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. Even the goddamn Eagles in the stupid fucking Super Bowl. Never forget the number one thing here. Now and forever on this channel. As always. Never ever forget it. Go Cowboys. No matter what.
Oh.
Fuck Philly as well. Extra fuck them today. Cook them up. Kill them. Do whatever you gotta do, KC. Just don't let me see them win a goddamn Super Bowl. That's all I'm asking. Just please don't. Just make them. Just keep at this number. Roast them up. Toast them up. Fry up some Eagle meat. And fuck you, Sirianni. Fuck you, Eagles. And go Cowboys. All right. On that note, guys, we'll see you again. Who knows when? It'll be soon, right? Yeah, maybe end of February / beginning of March when we start to get into the new league year. And guess what? In the middle of March, we'll get a couple more coaches. But in the middle of March, new league year, contracts, things happening, people going to get cut. And, of course, free agency starts.
Don't believe the rumors.
Don't believe the rumor hype, the hype on the Cowboys doing do this or that. But believe it when we see it. And that we'll see it, probably a week or two after the first move will probably come probably at the end of March for the Cowboys, knowing that, free agency starts in the middle of March. Probably will make a move to the end of March. So we'll see you guys before that, of course. But on that note, enjoy the Super Bowl. Obviously, we'll enjoy it if the Chiefs win and better. We will definitely not enjoy the Super Bowl if the Eagles win. So fuck Philly. And baby, as we say bye from the camera side, I guess you could say, of things here, the video side here, guys. Thank you guys, all you guys, and of course, never forget keeping this star alive forever. But yes, as we get ready for this shitty Super Bowl 59 game, a national holiday, I guess you can say. Guys, stay safe out there. Thank you guys for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long and your thoughts about our
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys and the Super Bowl. Big shout outs to those that dropped the love from above. NDN Boogie, Redman R, and man Mark Hosepian, and of course, the one and only, the dominator of this channel for the last 3 months, John Luna, who, by the way, shout outs to
Thank
who
you
he's
to Charles Raylan. Yes, Charles Raylan.
Rylander, I think it was. But anyway, yeah, Charles, much love and shout out to Charles, R.I.P. to him, and John Luna for bringing it to attention, to our
Yes,
attention.
wishing him and his family the best during this time.
Yes, and again, appreciate everything that your boy John does for our channel here. So just again, Charlie, Rylander, this is for you, brother. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Luna, for making it happen. On that note, guys, we'll see you back here soon. Enjoy the Super Bowl, the national holiday in America. Catch us on After Dark. We will be on After Dark on multiple times here. So throughout a lot of late nights. So keep watching over there on the MCF After Dark and After Dark 2. And of course, baby, before we can officially clock out and drop out and get ready to watch the Super Bowl tonight, what do we gotta do before we drop out of here?
We gotta drop the beat.
Oh yeah, the beat's been dropped, and hopefully Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, and those fucking Eagles will be dropped tonight at Super Bowl 59. Let's hope. Let's all hope together. In the meantime, guys, pregame over. Cowboy discussion about our coaches over. You got the future on the horizon of our Cowboys. We discussed it here. You guys thought we got some great discussions. Thank you guys for that. Big shout outs to everybody made it happen, especially John Luna for hitting the goal. A lot of new raffle entry possibilities coming up. We'll see you guys soon here, where it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star for everything here at MCF, My Cowboys Family, where the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, you guys know what the number one thing here on My Cowboys Family is. You guys that make this thing go round and round and all around. Guys, for almost 8 years we've been doing this thing. Truly appreciate you guys here on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the like button for the stream. Of course, hit subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live. Videos, live streams, whatever. Of course, also follow us on Discord. Follow us on, join the Discord. Follow us on all social media, Twitter, X, My Cowboys Family. And as always, enjoy the Super Bowl. As definitely always, most importantly, stay safe. And we'll see you back here in no time, guys. Take care. Much love. Peace. And never, ever forget, Cowboys. Fuck Philly.